I love how the anime is just doing things so much better. Like, even a character as hated as Obito, a lot of people, from the time he was revealed, people just did not like him. And you can totally see that the anime has done many different things and calmed down the amount of chatter and even the way he delivers his dialogue. They made it so that a character like even Obito isn't as bad, I guess you can say, or doesn't come across as such a piece of shit in the anime. Like, they are just taking so many different measures to make even the smallest little details a lot better. And I really appreciate that, especially with this episode of Naruto Shippuden. So one of the things this episode did as well is I felt like it extended the honoring of Neji's memory, because in the manga, it was like, you get his death, and they talk about it a little bit more, but this episode really truly felt like it was taking what happened in last week's episode with Neji's demise and ultimately making it so that, they're honoring him, they're respecting the fact of what he did and what he sacrificed himself for. And I just really appreciated when they did that combination attack of everyone and it kind of looked like the eagle going away. It was just perfect the way they did that regarding honoring Neji's memory. I mean, even having the scene where Rock Lee is just there in tears, it just really... Honestly, I can't stress it enough. The anime is just taking the manga and making some of these great events that weren't necessarily delivered at the best possible way, and they're taking it and just running home with it. Like when Lee is crying there on the ground, and it's kind of, you get those little bit of flashbacks of when they had their competition. It makes me think as well, like, it was a shame when Neji's passing, because there was some rivalries left unsettled, like him and Lee, who would win in the end. I would have loved to see that at some given point, them finally having one final throwdown to see, the genius versus hard work. It would have been just amazing. And to see that kind of just is impossible now at this point, it really makes you look at it and it's like, fuck. It was interesting to see Naruto become a Wi-Fi router for chakra with this week's episode. I mean, the way they delivered it too, again, it looked a little bit more interesting than in the manga, but it was just like, when you look at it, it's like Naruto just became like a battery for the entire war. He's just running around tagging everyone. Hey, you get chakra. Oh, here's some for you, bro. It kind of is a little bit funny in a way when you just look at it. And the Nine Tails kind of felt a little bit cynical in this one. I mean, I guess they're still keeping the spirit intact regarding at the end of the day, he is a fox and he was considered a demon. The dark humor that he has in this one when he's basically like, Minato and Kushina, you two are pathetic compared to your son. And I was just thinking to myself like, god damn, don't let Naruto hear that shit. Like, you got a little bit too hard there. But again, that's keeping in the spirit that while he has befriended Naruto and he's not as evil or doing any of those fucked up things that he was doing, he still has that, cruel humor, so to speak, within him. I mean, at the end of the day, you can't disregard the fact that he is one of the main reasons why they are dead. So yeah, if you keep on paying attention with these episodes, you definitely see that Obito, and again, while they downplaying it from the manga, you can definitely see that he is seeking some sort of confirmation for his way of life, especially looking at their friendship. It is just pissing him off. You could totally tell that, like, they're sticking to their resolve regardless of what happens, and that's something that he abandoned. He abandoned his resolve when things got tough, when, the world looked bleak, and he's seeing them, they're facing down Madara Uchiha, the Ten Tails Jubi, and then of course the Masked Man Toby that terrorized the world for years. They're facing them down and they're still sticking to their resolve. And I think that's a combination of anger, sadness, regret, jealousy. There's a lot of things that are hitting Obito at once, and that's why he keeps on, you guys don't know what you're talking about. The world being fucked up is what made me. And he's looking for them to say, you know what, you're right, but it's not going to happen at the end of the day. And I think he realizes that, and it's really pissing him off. And again, a combination of emotions is just attacking him at once. Madara really doesn't give a fuck about anything. Like, what would it take to make this dude hype and excited? Because at the end of the day, you see in this episode, he's just there like, oh yeah, I guess maybe I should help out. And the moment he helps out, shit just really starts going in their favor with Obito and the Ten Tails. And it's just like, why don't you keep on doing that? Like, you should put your all, I mean, at the end of the day, isn't your plan to, stomp everyone out and get your goals? So why are you just like, chilled and relaxed? You can deny it all you want, but there was another Naruhina moment within this episode. Naruto's going in there, his shoulders all fucked up, and when Hinata goes and pops that back into place, it's like, girl helping out her man in time of need. I'm just saying, where's Sakura at right now? Some people take that shit so serious, like, oh my god, whatever. I was a little bit scared that they had skipped the scenes, because prior to the death of Shikamaru and Ino's fathers, there was supposed to be that conversation where they have and they tell them the plan and everything, and it was supposed to be set up like that. They did it a little bit of a different way, a little bit interesting, where you kind of seeing flashbacks of them having that conversation and them telling them what to do. hilarious the way Shikamaru's dad went out. I was like, oh, make sure you get rid of the box that's next to the drawer. Your mother can't see it. It's like, we know what was in there, bro. We know, Shikaku, what you was doing. Wank, wank. But in all seriousness, it was a pretty touching moment to see one last time, you know, their conversation, what their final words were to both of them. Didn't really appreciate the whole thing of Ino having Sasuke and her little fantasy thing of, like, you know, her carrying on the legacy and being a future thing. It was kind of like, you're supposed to be over that. Like, I don't get what's this obsession that these girls, Sakura and Ino, have. Like, Sasuke should not be on your radar, bro. Stop already. And if you notice, this episode was definitely divided between two different parts because, again, Kishimoto always likes to do it. He likes to show what's going on in Naruto's life right now and what's going on in Sasuke's life right now. What, you know, troubles, trials, and tribulations Naruto's going through. Likewise with Sasuke. And while all that's going on, Sasuke right now is at the village, and it really makes you wonder, just like Sasuke right now is confused. At this particular point, he don't know what he wants to do. He don't know if he wants to just plummet this village into hell or if he wants to, you know, be a good guy because of his brother Itachi. So he's really confused right now. But Orochimaru in this episode, it really makes you wonder just what the fuck is he after? What is he up to? What is his mission? What is his goal? Just what's going on with him, because even Suigetsu tells him, like, yo, you have your subordinates right here. If we wanted to, we could totally just take this village down and, you know, just destroy it. I mean, that was your goal at some given point. And he just kind of smiles and says, but you're not snakes anymore. You're not heavy. You're not part of my team. So it really makes you wonder, what the fuck is Orochimaru? Has he truly become good? Like, I just don't buy this guy that had people, you know, in tanks experimenting on them, doing all sorts of evil deeds. All of a sudden is going to turn for the good and he's going to be like, hey man, maybe I'll become Hokage at some given point. Why the fuck did I make Orochimaru sound like that? What the fuck? And I remember when I was reading the manga, I definitely had foreseen the possibility of this happening at some given point. The Hokage returning via some sort of way of, like, getting them out of the belly of the beast. And a little bit of a weird, like, how the hell did Orochimaru know of this? Why didn't he do this for some other things in the past? But regardless of what, it was nonetheless a way of getting them out instead of just, like, saying, well, fuck it, you know, Edo Tensei works on them too now. So I like that it at least had a little bit of a more deeper explanation and a little bit more sense to it than just like, oh, well, we're gonna break the rules to get them out of there. And at the end of the episode, it still gets me. It got me in the manga, it got me in the anime. The revival of the 4 Hokage that know everything is like plot twist and a half, just progressing things in a major way. And overall, the anime, the pacing, woo, they are 3-4 chapters. They are just going in. They are not playing. I mean, we got Neji's death episode last week, and then this week we get the revival of the 4 Hokages. Like, they said they weren't going to be doing filler this year after the Kakashi Anbu filler arc. I highly doubt, with the pacing that they're going, we're going to be able to sustain without going into filler unless they do like a whole bunch of in-canon filler, especially with these episodes coming up. Because other than that, it's like we're flying through material. Like, the 4 Hokage have already arrived and things is just moving forward at a very fast pace. So I don't know. But if you notice, amongst the revival, Orochimaru made sure to get himself a nice Zetsu Hashirama DNA body. It's like, you really can't trust this motherfucker. I don't give a fuck regarding anime, manga, whatever the case may be. I don't trust him. It's Orochimaru, man. Come on. And before I end this review, I just want to talk quickly about Sasuke getting up on the roof and looking at Konoha. And it's just real interesting to see how far he's coming. Little scenes like that remind you just everything that we've been through. Just taking a look at Konoha, it gives you a quick glance and just to see the character and how much he's changed. And I just like to see that he is right now, he hasn't made up his mind completely what he wants to do yet, and it just makes you wonder what the fuck could these people possibly tell him to make him make up his mind. So overall, this episode, great episode again. I feel it's very close to last week's episode, but you can't match at the end of the day the death of Neji. It was like, that was a perfect episode in my opinion. This episode, close to there. There were some animation things here or there where I was kind of like, the art wasn't all that in certain scenes. Like, I would have liked a little bit of a better looking scene of Konoha. And believe me, I watched this bad boy in 1080p, so trust me, it's not that, oh, you need to adjust that. That's, no. So I'm going to give this episode a 9.5 out of 10. That's still a marvelous score and very close. I don't think I've ever given a 10 and a 9.5 following with almost anything I've ever reviewed, so that's pretty fucking awesome. And again, I just feel like the anime is taking what the manga laid out and making it so much better. But let me know what you guys think. First of all, if you're an Obito hater, you hate this motherfucker's guts, is the anime making you feel different towards him? Do you feel a little bit like, hey, you know, he's a dick, but he's not as bad as I felt like in the manga? I don't hate him. I don't feel like he's a fucking sobbing bitch. What do you think about that little conversation that Shikamaru and Ino had with their fathers prior to their death? Do you feel like it was a sad one? Did you get a little bit of relief in the end with a little bit of comedy that they added in there? I think they added that in there as well. Kishimoto knew that you just had Neji's death, or, you know, vice versa, because I believe in the manga, you know, you get to see their death first. And it was kind of like, well, we need to have some comedy in there. If not, people are going to be just depressed as fuck. And just overall thoughts of the episode. Again, I felt this was another great one. Not as great as last week's. Again, last week got me, but this was definitely up there. It's like, fuck, back to back. But that's all I have for this review. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed, you can do so as well. That'd be awesome. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day.